Hi everyone. Let's do a quick video on rounding. Now when you guys are working your homework problems and when you're working your test questions, occasionally the question is going to ask you to round the answer. And I know some people definitely need a real quick review on rounding. Okay, so let's say that you've done your work and you get down to the step where you've got 365 divided by 18. And the question asks you to round your answer. Well, if you take 365 and divide by 18, you get 20.2777, where the 7 repeats. Okay? Here is a place value chart. This right here is your decimal point. Then you've got your ones, your tens, your hundreds, thousands. Going right from the decimal point, you've got your tenths, your hundredths, your thousandths, your 10,000ths. Let's say the question asks you to round to the nearest whole number. Well, the nearest whole number is considered your ones right there. So if you're asked to round to the nearest whole number, you look to the number in the tenths place. And if it's less than 5, you're going to keep the 0. But if it's 5 or greater, this 0 would turn to a 1. It will go one number higher. All right, so if we're in this problem, if we're rounding to the nearest whole number, then our answer is going to be 20. If it asks you to round to the tenths, you look and find the number in the tenths place, which is the 2. Now, it's the hundredths place number that decides if the 2 stays a 2 or if it rounds up to a 3. If the number in the hundredths place is less than 5, it stays a 2. If it's 5 or greater, it will round up to the next bigger number. Well, since 7 is greater than 5, this 2 is going to round up to a 3. Okay, so here we've rounded to the tenths place. Sometimes in this curriculum, it won't say round to the nearest tenths. It'll say round to 1 decimal place. And if it says round to 1 decimal place, they mean one place, excuse me, one place just right of the decimal point. So if we take 20.277 and round to 1 decimal place, we still get 20.3. If it says round to the nearest hundredth, well, we go look at the number in the hundredths place, but it's the number in the thousandths place that decides if that 7 stays a 7 or if it rounds up to an 8. Since this 7 is greater than 5, this number is going to round up to 8. All right? If it said round to 2 decimal places, well, here's the first decimal place, here's the second decimal place. You would be rounding that number, and still the number just one to the right decides if it stays a 7 or rounds up to an 8. All right, what if we're dealing with money? Let's say this was $365 divided by, I don't know, 18 sweatshirts. So it comes out to be $20.2777 per sweatshirt. Here they're either going to ask you to round to the nearest dollar, which once again, to the nearest dollar, you're talking your units place. So you would say it's about $20 a sweatshirt. Or the other thing they're going to ask you to do is to round to the nearest cent. Now the nearest cent is in the hundredths place. So you're going to look to the thousandths place to decide, does it stay a 7 or does it round up to an 8? Well, in this case, it'd be $20.28. So to the nearest cent is always in the hundredths place. Okay? I hope you learned a lot on this quickie little review on place value. If you need some more help, let me know, or you can just search the internet, search YouTube for more help with rounding numbers.